Have you ever noticed that when it comes to money, everything revolves around where we put it? The New England Journal of Medicine reported a strange discovery made by French doctors in 2002. A 62-year-old man entered Colette General Hospital suffering from stomach pain. An x-ray revealed a huge mass of metal in his stomach. When doctors operated, they removed 12 pounds of coins as well as necklaces and needles. Can you imagine that? Despite his family's attempt to keep money and jewelry away from him, the man swallowed 350 coins, both francs and euros, over the course of a decade. One of the physicians who treated him said when he was invited to some homes, he'd steal money and eat it. The condition was known as pica, a compulsion to swallow inedible items. The coin fixation in this particular patient badly damaged the man's stomach, and 12 days later, doctors removed $650 from his belly, and then he died. When it comes to money, everything revolves around where we put it. On Tuesday before Easter, Jesus' enemies asked him a trick question. The question revolved around money and where we put it. Pharisees who opposed Rome teamed up with Herodians who liked Rome. Their common goal was to get rid of Jesus, and it brought together two diverse groups, a diverse delegation. In an attempt to get him handed over to the Roman authorities, they joined together, and they cleverly designed a question that appeared to have no clear-cut answer. First, though, they used flattery. Teacher, we know you're a man of integrity. You aren't swayed by men because you pay no attention to who they are. You speak and teach what is right in accordance with the truth. Sounded good. Secondly, they used tact. Then tell us your opinion, they asked. But then came the big question. Is it right to pay taxes to Caesar or not? Now, it was a loaded question. You see, if he'd answer it one way, the Pharisees would see him as siding with Rome and being a traitor. If he answered it another way, saying that it's not right to pay taxes to Rome, the Herodians would see him as one who opposed Roman authority. Jesus, looking through the question, knowing their evil intentions, saw right through him. And he said, "You hypocrites, why are you trying to trap me? Show me the coin used to pay the taxes." Now, those trying to trick Jesus brought to him a Roman denarius, and on the coin was an image of Caesar. And if you looked carefully on it, it read, Tiberius Caesar Augustus, son of divine Augustus. When Jesus asked them whose portrait is on the coin, they carefully examined it, and here came the reply, Caesar's. Now, one look made it clear, just by looking at the coin, they were under Roman authority and under Roman taxation. Matthew 22:21, Jesus said to them, here's the big answer. So give back to Caesar what is Caesar's, and to God what is God's. Now, Jesus was stating that government does have a rightful place in everyone's life, that people can still be subject to government and to God at the same time. Taxes were to be paid. But Jesus also understood that you have spiritual responsibilities. So he said, give to God what is God's. Jesus answered, amazed his enemies, and they were so baffled by what he said that they became silent. Questions still today revolve around money and where we put it. And nothing could get people going more than to discuss money, how it's spent, who gets it, where it goes, and of course, when it comes to money paid to the government. No one, when it comes to the government, in their right mind questions whether we should pay taxes or not. To not pay taxes can result in fines, and even worse things can happen. Right now, trillions of dollars are going to fight a virus. Whose money is that? It's yours. You paid your taxes. And when it comes to money, everything revolves around what we put in when we paid our taxes. But there's another bigger thing. Matthew 6:21 states, "For where your treasure is, your heart will be also." Now, of course, when it comes to money, I believe God has got to be first. Proverbs 3:5 says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not to your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your paths straight." It says in verse 9 following, "Honor the Lord with your wealth and with the first fruits of all your crops. And then your barns will be filled to overflowing, and your vats will brim over with new wine." I believe with all of my heart that God is my source, not the United States government. And in fact, regardless of the economic climate, I want to tell you this. We've got to put our trust in God, because America's list of stressors, their number one stressor is money. So you can't trust in the government. You've got to trust in God. And certainly in this time of financial uncertainty, God has got to be your source. This means give back to Caesar what is Caesar's, but more importantly, give to God what is God's. One tithing success story from a man goes like this. He goes, "I recently was laid off from my job of 14 years. He says, though I was worried about money among other things, I decided to give a tithe larger than normal. I've always been fighting myself about this tithing issue. So in the next week, I did it, and I discovered by giving more that I actually received a 26-week severance package, even though I've been laid off. And then I got a new job that I ended up making more than I did in the past." And then he ended up saying, "God truly has a way of working it all out." Tuesday before Easter, religious leaders posed Jesus a question about money. They said, "Is it right to pay taxes to Caesar or not?" And when Jesus came up with the answer is that'll bless you. When it comes to money, everything revolves around where we put it. And I'm telling you today, on these days before Easter, put God first in everything. Make God your number one source. And watch God bless you even during the coronavirus.